All right, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We'll be diving right into a discussion segment, and this morning we turn our focus to the Federal Capital Territory, where workers of the FCTA and the Federal Capital Development Authority have embarked on an indefinite strike, shutting down offices and parastatals across Abuja over what they describe as unmet demands. Now, the strike, which commenced on Monday, January 19th, 2026, is being coordinated by the Joint Union Action Congress, or JUAC, and has grounded official activities across the FCT, including secretariats, area councils and key agencies. Now, among the grievances cited are unpaid promotion arrears, delays in the release of promotion exercises, continued extension of service for retired directors and permanent secretaries, and concerns over statutory deductions for pensions and the National Housing Fund. Now, the Joint Union Action Congress says these unresolved issues threaten staff welfare and career progression. Now, the Federal Capital Territory Administration, however, insists that 10 out of the 14 demands have been met, including the payment of a long-standing wage and hazard allowance arrears, with the remaining issues being actively addressed. Now, the administration also noted that some workers, including members of other unions, have distanced themselves from the strike and continue to report to work. Now, joining us this morning in the studio to provide insight on the ongoing industrial action and the path to resolution is Comrade Jema Medan, chairman of the Joint Public Service Negotiation Council in the FCT. And we'll be discussing the reasons behind the strike, the impact on public services, and the prospects for speedy resolution. Comrade Medan, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, and thank you, viewers.
All right, now looking at what has happened, the start of the strike yesterday, a lot of people would ask what specific failures in governance and negotiation triggered this strike, and who should take primary responsibility for allowing it to escalate this far. We've seen people, workers have stayed away from their work, from their jobs, which has brought about a vacuum, obviously, due to the fact that there are some demands that have not been met. So can you give us a brief history and where we are at this point?
Well, thank you very much, and thank you, viewers. Let me just start by saying that I'm the chairman, Joint Public Service Negotiating Council in FCT, and this is a body that is saddled with the responsibility. It's a formal body that actually saddled with the responsibility of collective bargaining of the salaries, welfare, allowances, and better working conditions for civil servants in Nigeria and even in FCT. And actually, let me say it, no worker has ever, we have never thought actually that we will embark on this strike. Nigerians need to know. Workers are actually not threats to administrators or to any government. We are placed there actually to serve like a wheel. Any government that comes on board, we are there ready to work with them so that we achieve or actualize their vision. And when this government came on board with a hope, renew hope agenda, all civil servants in FCTA particularly, we all embrace the Renew Hope agenda, thinking that we are going to support the government to achieve the end. But along the line, all these issues started coming up. And why did all these things come up? The reason why we are there as union, we are there to represent workers. Either you are a director, a permanent secretary downward, particularly the Joint Public Service is there to represent the workers. And the reason why we are on this strike today is because government has decided to ignore the union, not to listen to us. I will say it since this government administration came on board in 2023, union, both from the Nigeria Labour Congress, the Joint Public Service Negotiating Council, and all other unions have never had a meeting with this administration. And actually, like I said, we are there to run as a wheel to help you achieve your end. We wrote series of letters to meet with government so that we discuss some of these things, but government shied away from us. And the truth is that it's just like a married woman and who is coming on television to come and discuss issues that they could have settled with her husband in the bedroom. And that is what we are doing now. We least expected that we are going to come here. And all the issues on ground are the issues that we have. These are issues that we have actually worked for. You started in your commentary by talking about promotion areas of 2023. This is something we have since 2023. This government is 2 years in service. And since 2023, there are promotion areas that have been conducted and something they could have paid. We are still battling with it. Even the one they just said they have paid is issue of 2021, 2020, something that is since then. Outstanding this. So what are we saying? These issues could have been settled. In fact, particularly the body I represent, we could have sat down and say, okay, government, what can we do, what can we do? Because they have refused to do that, that is why we are here. And I will mention those issues one after the other so that you will know we are not so selfish and we are demanding for what we have worked for.
Now, Comrade, according to reports, you have 14 demands, but according to the Federal Capital Territory Administration, they have fulfilled 10 of those demands. That means 4 is left for those demands. So let us hear from you. Have those demands been met? And if they have, how come there is this friction still going on? Because at the end of the day, we have to hear both sides of the story.
I'm very sorry to say this thing, and I will repeat. These are not issues that we're supposed to come here to the media and start washing our dirty linens in the public. We have paid, we have not paid. If they have paid, there is nothing now. We can go back to work. I'm not aware. The only one that I know I will mention here, and maybe they can come back and say it here, but that is not the best way. The best way that I know as a union, we'll call the union and we sit down together and discuss this thing. Honestly, I have to be very honest. I know that they have paid the 13 months outstanding arrears of hazard allowances, which workers has worked for. We are not supposed to beg for it and fight for it. And wage award, we all know, that one also they have paid 1 month out of 15 months. Apart from that, I am not sure if this government has done any other things. Out of the 14 points that they are talking about, did they say they have paid the outstanding promotion arrears? They have not done that. The issue of defective promotion, let me say this thing clearly before I forget. Honestly, like I said, these are issues that we have supposed to could have discussed within our bedroom with our management, but we are now here. The major cause of some of this crisis in FCT is the Civil Service Commission. I'm very sorry. We agitated and fought for the establishment of FCT Civil Service Commission, but that is not what we paid for. We begged for, because when they came on board, I can only remember one achievement they made. After conducting some screening, they declared that about 3,000 or how many thousands of workers has absconded from work, which was wrong. And that thing really caused a lot of troubles and reactions from labor and recruitment, which I believe minister himself has okayed them, go and recruit. They have not even recruited. Promotion exercise that we went for now, that we are talking about, that is one of the demands. The truth is they didn't do well. They invited people for CBT exams, and the system was not working. Everybody, people logged in at the computers, locked them out, and network was bad, things were bad. And at the end of the day, they are coming out to say only 20% of the civil servants who sat for that exams have passed the exam. Why are they causing all this crisis? And when we talk about elongation of the years of service of directors, these are simple things. Every civil servant that works, civil service is not a jungle. It is an organized place, and there is a civil service rule guiding. People are supposed to work for 30 years of service and retire, 60 years of age and retire. Then somebody will get to 60 or 30 years of service, and then because he knows his way, he wants to go somewhere and corner so that they can extend. Why can't, okay, what happened to the other people that are waiting? So Have they done that simple one? They have not done it. They have not paid the 13 months arrears. They have not done about the promotion exercise we are talking about, extension of the tenure of those directors. They have not said anything about them. The lack of the issue of payment of or remittance of pension. Look, pension is the money that you are, pension is our monies that they deduct from us. Instead of remitting them to the PFA, they don't remit them, and we are scared because when you retire, that is actually usually what causes problem. You will retire and there will be no money to pay you. They will start saying this thing. Where is that money? Even the National Housing Fund that we are talking about, they have not remitted all those monies, and they are saying that they have done that. We are talking about National Housing Scheme in FCT. They have not done everything about that. We are talking about their refusal to observe the financial autonomy for some agencies, some MDAs. What are we talking about this? I want to just give you an example. If you go to Hospital Management Board, there is what we call Director General. And there is actually a law establishing that agency. That man can only sign, approval limit is 2.5 million naira. He has 14 hospitals. And what is 2.5 million naira? In fact, even the mandate secretary herself, she has a approval limit of 5 million naira. You are talking about the entire FCT, you are talking about the entire environment, and you are saying this. Look at the primary healthcare board. I don't think her approval limit is up to 500,000. So all these things, they have not done them nothing. I think the management is just trying to come and tell people that yes, we have done this thing, and there is nothing that has been done.
All right, now we are in the Federal Capital Territory. This is the Federal Capital Territory, and this is not the first time we are seeing these kind of strikes due to demands that have not been met when it comes to welfare of workers. Now, at this point, a lot would ask, is the FCT administration financially constrained, or is this a matter of misplaced priorities from your own point of view with conversations that you had or might not have with the authorities?
Well, to my own little understanding, I think maybe the people very close to the authority concerned are not feeding him with the correct information. And that is one. Two, and I think with that concept they came in with, looking at unions as if they are threats. If the Honorable Minister of FCT has called the union to sit down and discuss this thing, honestly, we wouldn't have found ourselves here in the public discussing this thing, because most of all these things we are mentioning, they are just small things that could have been settled. And we are there to represent all the workers, ranking from the permanent secretaries down. So if we are the voice of these people, why can't you just call us? Let's sit down and discuss this issue to quash them. So that will to call also that we can mention or itemize the challenges of the workers, like I stated earlier, that it is our responsibility to sit down, bargain, and negotiate the welfare of the workers, both their salaries, working condition, and everything. Let him call us. We sit down, tell him this is what to do, and we can even proffer solutions to some of these things that he thinks they are difficult.
Now, talking of the issues, Comrade, part of it is, you know, the pension, which you have rightly stated. And I want to ask you, how long have these deductions been outstanding when it comes to the pension payments? When
we talk about that one is from May.
Okay, May 2025. Okay.
Yes, May 2025. From May 2025, the pension deductions are not being remitted to the pension authority. And if we look at it, we are going, and let me tell you, we are fully aware of some of the strategies that we see. Sometimes when monies are kept, we are not talking about 2 people or 5 people, we are talking about thousands of people. When those monies are kept somewhere, and by the time anybody turns and look at money parked somewhere, they will say, oh, bring this money, let's use it, and maybe we'll find money tomorrow and give. And at the end of the day, if the tenure ends, and that is the end. So that is our fear. The same thing with the National Housing Authority funds. They are not being remitted. So we are calling that those monies should be remitted also.
So where do you think that, these deducted funds are being kept, and who is supposed to be held accountable for, the non-remitters of the pension?
I read what somebody mentioned when he was talking about issue of they have resolved most of these issues. He's saying it is a responsibility of the civil servant. There is nobody that can touch government money. There must be an accounting officer who is responsible for the approval that this money should be moved to this place. All of us cannot just, when people are talking in the public, they should understand that the other people listening also knows the procedure. You can't say it is our responsibility. How can you say it's my responsibility to move the pension fund or to move the national housing fund to where it's supposed to be? It is their responsibility, the management responsibility, to move those money, to remit this money after collecting them. We are not signatories, neither authority or authorized to move those monies to the pension PSA.
All right, now, talking about one of the demands when it comes to extension of service for retired directors and permanent secretaries, it is quite understandable that not retiring someone when their retirement time is there is putting a stop to, I would say, progression of other workers as well. So how do you think that particular issue can be solved? Because there needs to be a dynamic when it comes to the work environment. And how do you advise the authorities to take charge in making sure that all that is needed to be given to those that deserve it is given?
Like I said earlier, the issue of civil service rule has made everything clear and simple, that when you clock in 60 years in service, you step aside for others to take over, and immediately someone will take over. The immediate next person to you takes over, and when you spend 30 years in service, you step down because of that. Is clear. And if you are doing it to everybody, it's okay, but you don't select other people because of one reason or the other and keep them in the office for that. And these are things that we could have solved. We want to say the civil service rules should be adhered to, and that's all. When you do that, you don't have problem with us. But yeah.
Now, you've embarked on an indefinite strike. So far, has there been any reach out to have a discussion on finding ways to resolve these demands, these issues as soon as possible? Because at the end of the day, as I mentioned earlier, there are gaps that have been created with workers not going to work. Obviously, there are situations where these workers are needed at their offices as well.
Like I mentioned earlier, if government have called even yesterday to say, come, let's sit down, how can we iron this? We could have submitted, we could have availed ourselves and sat down to solve this problem. We are not even happy that all these things are happening, but we have gotten to a level. In fact, let me just say it, one of the demands is non-payment of or release of overhead costs. And what are overhead costs? These are the monies that are being paid to you to run day-to-day activities in the office, cleaning of the office, doing whatever. For the first time, let me tell you, even the cleaners that are being paid 30,000, 40,000, put it together, somebody coming from Yanya to work in FCD and they are paying him 30,000 naira or 40,000 naira, went on strike for almost 1 month because their monies are not being paid, because overhead are not being paid. So, and you think we'll come and sit down? If you want to photocopy paper documents, you have to go outside. These are government confidential documents. You have to go outside to type. Sometimes no diesel to run light and to work, do small things that you need to do in the office. You don't have detergent even to clean your office, and you think we can sit down and run. How do you want us to run office? We as civil servants, we are available. If government can call us, we sit down. And let me say the truth. If today we are saying government should call us, it's not everybody that will say, come, let's sit down. If you call me today, let's sit down, and you cannot go and talk to your boss that, boss, this is what I agree with these people. Then sitting down has no meaning. we need to meet with the board strikes and discuss the issue and sort it out for once and for all. But let me tell you the truth. Apart from this particular strike, there are some coordinated strikes that are just arranged and kept actually, which if care is not taken, if nothing is done, if we don't sit down like this and discuss this thing, those strikes will keep on popping up and coming up also affecting, particularly, let me say it, in the health sector. I've said so many things before. There is actually a near or total collapse of the health sector in FCT, because if you look at the manpower now, we have said this thing, gross shortage of manpower in the health sector, dilapidated infrastructure in the health sector, and lack of equipment, lack of consumables in the hospital. If you go to the hospital, I can say it, the hospitals have collapsed for the past 2-3 months. None of the FCT hospitals are working. I don't know if you people have investigated, go and see. But even if the other people on strike resume, a lot of things are going to happen. We need to take government serious, honestly. And I want to set this thing clearly that FCT, if you look at the entire population of people living in FCT, they are civil servants. So treat the civil servants very well, and we can get it working.
So, Comrade, this is not the first time we have seen, the strikes in the FCT with the workers, affecting healthcare, like you rightly stated, and also schools. And I believe that, past other strikes should have, brought a resolution to most of these issues that are on the table, and we don't need to see another strike. So why do you think that this dispute is still on, despite, several strikes that have been going on in the FCT?
I did not repeat myself. Repeating myself means telling you the same thing I have said before. I've said it, the government has refused even to sit down with us to discuss the way forward for this happening. If the government has sat down with us to say what is the problem, we could have told the government that this is the problem, the challenges we are facing. And by so doing, by now we could have solved almost every problem that we have in the health sector, and not only in the health sector, in the civil service. We are talking about all these things that I'm mentioning. They are areas or they are pending issues that are coming up from the former agitations by the civil servants.
So, but if we really look at this, do you think that any official will be sanctioned, if it is proven that workers' entitlements were deliberately withheld? Do you think that, when these negotiations are being made by, the workers and the government, when they go to do their investigations and they find out that, truly the entitlements of these people are being held, do you think someone will be held accountable at the end of the day?
I don't know who will be held accountable, who will investigate the issue. Let me say, even from the federal government, Joheso has been on strike for some time. Who do you investigate and who do you hold responsible at that point? And even the one we are talking about, like I said earlier, if those issues are communicated to the minister, I think minister could have done that. So
now you're saying that the minister is not even aware of these issues that are...
He may be aware, but may not have been presented the way union can present them. That is what I'm saying, because if you are talking about your director to come and brief you on an issue, he can brief you and go, but union knows how to present all these issues so that they don't cause havoc after. So that is what I'm trying to say. Apart from all these issues that we are mentioning, let me say it here clearly. If you look at it, one of our issues we have been saying that the issue of salary, management of payment of salary has been handed over to some few individuals. I want to say it here clearly that in FCT we've been suffering something that we are not supposed to suffer about. When you see that subheading, it is just small thing, but it has a lot of meaning. You wake up today, you collect salaries, you see that some allowances has been removed. For instance, health workers, they remove their rural allowances. These are allowances that has been teaching allowances for how many months? Long ago. Up to today, as I speak, those salaries are not reinstated, and we are just working, and we don't know when they will pay them, and they are not even willing to pay. Tomorrow they will tell you that these allowances was not paid, that the consultant they gave to handle salary structure say that this system has collapsed. And they keep on doing all these things, stepping down allowances and reinstating them at will. We are not happy about that, and we say we have never witnessed this. We are just seeing this thing happening. I don't know either I can call it salary theft.
All right, now looking at this strike that has been embarked on, and heard that some workers or some unions have distanced themselves from it. Now, at this point with this strike, have you heard of any workers being intimidated or threatened from participating in this strike?
Let me say it clearly. Those people that you think have distanced themselves from this strike did not distance themselves from the strike. Like I said earlier, there are some coordinated strikes that are ongoing to come up if these matters are not resolved. And those people are just there. You know, all of us cannot go on strike. We can't use all we have. All other unions are just waiting. And if nothing is done on this issue, honestly, all of us will join. And when you talk about either there are some people that are being intimidated or harassed concerning the strike, we believe that this is our country. It has not just started today. Striking did not just start today. We strike and we are ready to be the supreme of the being labor unions. That is why we are here. So we are not afraid about harassment or intimidation by any other person, because we know that we are just demanding for what we have worked for. We are not asking for anything new here. We are asking for what we have been worked for. There is nothing that is here that we have not done, and there is nothing here that we have put in place that is not lawful. So,
all right, Comrade, we have heard, you know, all of the issues that are facing the FCT workers, but then now let's move ahead looking at, you know, how to solve these issues. Now, if these issues are not fully resolved at this point, should Abuja residents, you know, brace up for another shutdown?
Like I said earlier, this strike by the FCT workers is just a little arrangement. She mentioned it that some other people did not join. I say no. They are gathering momentum to see how they can approach to do this thing. If these demands are not made, actually they will continue to disturb the administration or FCTA for a long time, because we are not demanding for something new and we are asking for what we have worked for. So it will continue, and we are going to get more people joining the strike, more people supporting, and we as union leaders, we are ready to speak the voices of the workers in FCT.
Now, what concrete timeline do you think? Because at the end of the day, when strikes happen, the average Nigerian, the everyday Nigerian is the one that gets the brunt of it. And aside from that, obviously, the workers that have gone on a strike. But at the end of the day, how do you navigate making sure that you stand up for your right as well as not trample on Nigerians' rights as well?
Well, like I said earlier, I said we never intended to hurt anybody, neither to step on anybody's rights. And we want to say we have never planned also to go on strike. It's because we have been pushed to go. Like I said, if by today, after this interview, minister will say, oh, this young man that we saw on television and other union, can you people come together so that let's discuss and see how we can get this thing? So I'm telling you the truth, by today, we can end the strike if all these things are being made. And we don't intend to hurt anybody. We are not out to hurt anybody. We are just fighting for our rights.
All right, now, what call do you have for the government, the authorities, as well as your fellow workers and union members?
Well, what I have to say here is that labor organizations are not threat to government, but we are here to support government to achieve their objectives and aims. So we appeal to the management to call us, let's sit down on the table to discuss all these things so that we can give Nigerians a better and also give them the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. Call us, let's sit down on table and to discuss. Don't run away from us. So we are here for our people, for the workers. We are not here for ourselves, and we understand that masses are depending on what workers can do. So that is my own call, and the little things government need to do, policy issues, they can make it right. And finally, I want to say it, that the civil service in FCT, Civil Service Commission, headship should be looked into, and honestly is causing a lot of confusion, because promotion that we are talking about, promotion exercise we are talking about, comes from there. Recruitment issue, shortage of manpower. Somebody who has been given responsibility to recruit workers has not recruited up to today, and promotion exercise we are talking about, and so many things that have not been done. Only one item that you did, which was very wrong, since we came in power. So I think they should look into that so that we settle some of these issues.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much, Comrade Medan, for being here and highlighting the plight of Nigerian workers in the FCT.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, and thank you, viewers.
All right, that is all we have for this segment. We'll be going on a quick break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the front pages of our national dailies and see what made it there, so make sure you stay tuned. We'll be right back.